hockey. Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
Oh, and it is Judd's Hockey Show. It is Judd's Hockey Show. It is Wednesday. The men's Olympic hockey tournament starts today. The U.S. men, of course, playing on Thursday, along with Canada, a full slate of games. The U.S. women absolutely kicked the snot out of Canada. Incredible. We are going to get to it all. Judd's Hockey Show. It is the full-strength version. It is Jessi Pierce. Of course, NHL.com covers the Wild. Bar Down Beauties, a fantastic show on the Score North Network. They just had Rob McClanahan on from the 1980 Olympic hockey team. A great conversation there. If you missed it, if you care at all about one of the great, or actually probably the greatest moment in U.S. hockey history, beyond a shadow of a doubt, check out the Bar Down Beauties, AJ Fredrickson, as always, and we're going to get to it all, but first I want to talk to you about my good friends. In fact, I'm representing very strong with the hat today and the coffee mug. That would be Victory Tire and Auto, where they believe in relationships, and their goal is to serve customers for the long term, personalized, trustworthy, and consistent service. Family-owned business established right here in Minnesota in 1997. Victory has an industry-leading, get this, 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty on all new parts and labor. Schedule an appointment at any of their 20-plus Twin Cities area locations. Just go to victorytireandauto.com. Tell them the sports dad sent you. Why? Not just because he's extremely popular, because you're going to get $25 off any oil change service as well. Also, complimentary multi-point safety inspection with every service appointment. Again, victorytireandauto.com. Quality work, genuine care for all of life's miles at Victory Tire and Auto. All right, let's get to it. So, Jess, we did a show, Age and I, a couple of days ago, talking about like the line combinations and sort of expectations for the U.S. team. But now that we've got you, as we're about to get the tournament for the men started, what are your expectations for the United States as they attempt to win their first Olympic gold since 1980 and their first tournament of any international, especially with professional importance, since 1996 in the World Cup of Hockey?
I'm scared to say it because I don't have full reasoning. I've been trying to figure out why I feel this way. I said it on Bar Down Beauties the other day. I'm concerned about the medaling, frankly, which I know is insane. Everybody else has projected them to get gold or silver, right? I think their goaltending is superior, and I think their depth at the blue line is phenomenal. It's the forwards. I just don't see that as a huge strength, right? You look at Canada and it's superstar after superstar after superstar, elite offensive production. The U.S. doesn't necessarily have that, and I'm not taking that away from the very elite talent that is there, the Jake Gensels, the Matt Boldies, right? But they're all second tier to the McKinnons, the McDavids, the Celebrinis, the Crosbys, the Marners. Like, it just, those guys succeed with the Canadian guys, not necessarily on their own. So my concern is them getting to the podium, which I know is not a popular opinion. I obviously am very high on having the elite of the elite. I remember watching that silver medal finish with Zach Parise getting in there to force overtime. I remember all of that. It was phenomenal. And even going to Sochi, not as great of a turnout, but it was still fun to see some of those elite athletes, TJ Oshie, the superstar there. But I feel like this team is closer to that 2014 squad in some ways than that 2010 squad. I hope I'm wrong. I'm excited to check out all of the games. But there's just this weird gut feeling that I'm like, you know what? You're going to dominate group play. No doubt about it. I'm not worried about the prelims. It's after that because anything can happen, which is what's going to make this tournament so exciting. But it's not just Canada I'm worried about. It's the other teams too that can come out and have a really surprising tournament and may shock the world, and namely the U.S. So we'll see.
And there is an age there is star power.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere on a beach right now, or in Dallas, or, Cole Caulfield back home probably in Wisconsin, or on a beach himself. Jason Robertson. Like we are about to find out what trying to build in some ways it's funny. So Bill Guerin was 9 years old when the 80 team won. I was 10. And, to go back to the documentary on Netflix, the movie, that, Herb Brooks at the time, first of all, with college kids, okay, so that's a huge difference. He built a team. He didn't build a superstar squad. He left off some really good players because he knew in order to get those kids to play how he wanted, he needed exact guys. This is a pro team, and you've left star players at home, and you've sort of built some of the same idea that Brooks used. And I'm not sure in this case it works.
Bill Guerin has set himself up in a weird situation where if they win, it's like, wow, he followed the mantra and the ideology that that Herb Brooks used for that 1980 team. But if like the hesitation and the maybe the doubt that Jessi's kind of sharing about this club and they don't even medal, well, Bill Guerin's just looked at as a guy that was role playing Herb Brooks for this time around for the Olympics. Like there's a massive chance that there is a lot of disappointment and this is a huge failure because I share the same hesitation. I think the prelims will be a cakewalk for them, but when they get in, that's when they really start. And will that sort of big step up going from Latvia? I think they have Germany as their toughest prelim, in my opinion, toughest prelim opponent. As soon as you go in, you're going to face somebody who's not just a step, but maybe 2 steps up. And where I sit is this team is enough talent to where I think the bar should be you are medaling mandatory. But if they fall short, then you're talking about how, one, I think it could have been expected given the roster makeup, but 2, there's no excuses because you have the talent. And now you have, like Judd said, some of the talent sitting back here, either in Cancun or on Miami Beach, or, maybe Cole Caulfield's more of a nightclub guy and he's out there just, EDM house music, getting into it. He's got 3 weeks to do. So why not? He kind of looks like a guy that would do that. But I'm very conflicted about this team because I think there's a chance everything clicks and the master plan comes together and they go on this incredible run and they're able to topple Sweden and they're able to topple Canada with all that star power. But also, I would not be surprised if a week and a half from now we're sitting here talking about how they fell short and this is a huge reflection time for USA Hockey and it's crazy how the women are able to continue to do it year after year, but the men's side just can't get it right, something along those lines. It'll be fun to watch, but I do have some reservations myself.
And you mentioned building a squad like Herb Brooks did in the 1980, and obviously there are tons of parallels you can always draw to any Olympic team, and then tons of differences. The big thing that Rob McClanahan had reminded me when we had him on the podcast was you can't coach the way that Herb Brooks coached. Like nobody's going to be allowed to do that, right? Like no. He was very almost cynical and so deep psychologically, and really, Matt McClanahan was very quick to say, we're not trying to bag on him, but that's who he was. Like he would not get away with that. You would not have players that would not only respond to that type of, but everybody else would be calling for his head because, nowadays the way that society has shifted for better or for worse, it's different. And you wouldn't be able to get what Herb was out of those kids because you have to treat these players different. And now, especially as it pertains to some of these NHL stars on the US team, they wouldn't know what to do with a coach that spoke to them or treated them like that, right?
And Herb had a group of college kids that he handpicked, and then they barnstormed for an entire winter, or like fall and winter. Mm-hmm. So they played like he got them to gel over months. Like that was not this is literally an all-star tournament. Like that's the thing is. I don't think that we should think of this as you're going to get it. It's not going to be a team. For anybody, there's no time for so like that whole strategy was Herb picked the team based on who he knew he could get to do what he wanted over, but he had to break them first. Yeah. Like if I agree with you, Jess, you can't do that now, but if you wanted to, you still couldn't because you literally just practice a few times and then go play an all-star tournament, which should be great. So Jessi, back to your point though. Because it is pretty bold to say that you don't that you're afraid that they wouldn't get a bronze.
I know.
So who scares you? Like if your worst case comes to fruition, who's at the podium when this thing is done?
You look at Sweden I know has lost a lot of their top stars, but we love their goaltenders. We can't forget about those goaltenders.
No, and they're good.
Sweden, and they're so good.
That's a good team.
So much. And similar, I think, for me and it's almost like the state high school tournament. You look at what Minnesota hockey state tournaments look like. Those teams that won state at youth tend to go on to win the high school state tournament, right? A similar parallel that I'm drawing here now, if you guys bear with me, World Juniors. Czechia has done phenomenal on the World Junior stage, on that international stage, which tells you the type of crop of young players that they've had for years now. I mean, for a couple years, going back not just to this most recency, but I think that's another team. And that's a team that the U.S. would have to play, I believe, out of the quarterfinals, or that looks like it could be a good matchup for them in order to get past. So I think it's tough. And again, anything could happen. It could be the Swiss, for crying out loud, right? Like, I mean, the Swiss could get hot and they could get inside USA's head and go down and beat them too in a quarterfinal. Like, it could be anybody. So it's not necessarily that other teams are scaring me. It's what Team USA lacks that worries me a little bit more, that I don't know if they're going to be on par. Because as you just mentioned, Judd, it's a quick turnaround to get some of these guys to figure out what to play. You've got Jack Hughes as a wing down on the fourth line. How is that going to transcend into his mind and his role? Right. Like, it's going to be very interesting. Again, group play, they should roll. They should absolutely dominate. And then to AJ's point too, is that also a problem? Because there's no adversity there. There's no real challenge or hurdle or test to see what this team is made of, which again then leads into, how does that look when you start getting eliminated? I don't know. And it's this weird gut feeling. And I hate it because I want to see them go to the championship, right? I want to see them go for gold. Absolutely. And I know a lot of people probably think that's crazy, but there's just something off about the team that I'm like, I don't have this full confidence behind them.
I'll say I feel like they're lucky, and this is where my mixed feelings about this tournament altogether, that there's no Russia. Like, it should be about as easy as possible for them, given their talent level, given some of the other teams they're going to face, especially in the prelims, for them to medal. I mean, maybe I'm showing my hand too much here, but I'm expecting a bronze for this team. I think in terms of the biggest threats, Canada is the odds-on favorite. They have you look at their top three centers: McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby. It's crazy. Like that, like Judd said, this is an all-star team. And to Jesse's point, I'll push back maybe a little bit, because for the World Juniors, those kids are so young and so moldable, where if a coach wants to have them play, and Judd pointed this out watching like Team Finland, they play in a system that works for them. It's that European style where it's not super flashy. And Bob Motzko said this after the loss to Finland too, which is like, you know exactly how they're going to play. Will we see that from the NHL players for Finland come this tournament, or will they adapt more of the game that they're used to here in North America? If they kind of go by what they have and can, I guess, like bolster that European, like Finland, Sweden, like we've got this like camaraderie and we have this system we know how to play and that our people love, then maybe they're able to kind of shake things up. But I think the Sweden team will surprise with how good they are. I think some of the top guys will really carry them. But even if you look at some of the rosters, Finland isn't terrible. Like there's a drop off, I think, for sure between them and USA, Sweden, Canada. But they have, I mean, they have NHLers on their squad top to bottom, but it's not like they have superstars. But they can play hockey, and when those guys, to reference Miracle on Ice once again, when those guys can come together and maybe rally around a certain idea or whatever, can they do that in this 13-hour plane ride going from here to there? If they play a certain way, they could probably give USA, Canada, Sweden a really good fight. And I'm Joe, everything aside, we got it at one point in the World Juniors. I need it here. I need a Finland-Sweden game just for that rivalry. I love watching anything Finland versus Sweden.
They hate each other.
Yeah, hate each other. Pure anger.
Absolutely. So if the U.S. doesn't win a medal, it's an unmitigated disaster, to quote Stephen A. Smith. Mm-hmm. Like, if they don't get a medal, because if you look at it, so Canada, Sweden, it could be a bronze, which I don't think is nothing to write home about. Like this is the expectation should be gold. It's time. It's time to win gold. And especially if you're going to build what Bill Guerin built, which is we're going to build a team, and that's going to, we're worried about ourselves. We're not concerned about Canada, but Canada's got the roster. You built a team to sort of like be like, no, this is a team. So it's time to win a gold. That being said, if you don't even get a bronze, this is just a complete disaster. But I'm with you guys. I think we're probably all in agreement. I think being in a group with Latvia, which starts tomorrow, Denmark and Germany, which has Draisaitl and has some players, but certainly is not a great
Nico
team.
Sturm.
Yeah. Well,
Tim Stützle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany is a long shot. Like it's still despite a few good players. I hate this group. I would
Right?
far rather be challenged because you're going to have no idea. You're going to go into elimination type games potentially. Now you'll win your group, so I think you get to skip the qualification elimination games and go right into the quarterfinals. But your first real game where it's going to be really really tough, you're going to have no reference point for if you're good. I hate this group. I would have rather. I'm not saying Canada got a tough draw. I'm not saying I want the toughest draw, but I would like to have something where I feel tested. And other than Germany, maybe a little bit, I don't feel you're tested. If they lose to Latvia, throw the 1980 U.S. team against Russia out the window. We now have our biggest upset in Olympic hockey history, and the Russians losing to the U.S. in 80 is number 2 if you lose to Latvia. So I just don't feel it tests you at all, and I don't like that.
No, I don't either. It doesn't get you really geared up and excited too. Like obviously we're all going to tune in. We're hockey fans and we're wanting to see what the US does, but it's not a game that I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Like let's get going at 2:00 in the afternoon, right? And it's just kind of it's tough. And I don't think it's going to fare well because then you're going to have all this high momentum, like, oh well, look at we potted 7 goals, and because you should pot 7 goals on Latvia, right, or on 10 goals on Denmark, like that should be
minimum,
minimum, right? But you're gonna also maybe my biggest concern, and this is always going to be the concern with any superstar team full of athletes of this caliber, is that ego and how big your head's going to be now. I mean, you even kind of saw a little bit of it back at the Four Nations when the U.S. beat Canada. Those egos swelled because look at what we did. We took down Canada. And not to say it was a terrible game in that championship, but it wasn't exactly the same U.S. squad because Canada reminded them very quickly what their place was. So, you can't head into the quarterfinals. And there's something special about those European teams. You guys talked about that with Sweden and Finland. They seem to gel so much better together, in my opinion. Sometimes it seems. I don't know if you guys have seen that too, or maybe I just have this fondness. Like, I just feel like your Swedens and your Finlands, like, there's just this different camaraderie when it comes to those players representing their country. And it's just, I don't know. It's very heartwarming, but that can also be their advantage that they come together. And I don't know. I hate that I'm not as like,
to your point though, and Age said this and he's exactly right though. So the Finns are going to assemble or Sweden, and they've got players who play here, or in Sweden's case, a ton of players who play here. But they've got systems, I think, that are far more easy for their players because they grew up in those systems to go back to. Does the U.S. really have we don't really have a system.
No.
Like we work with our goaltenders now more. So probably advantage, ideally, U.S. over Canada in goal. But I'm saying, like, when you look at the Finns or the Swedes, watch their system. And it's basically a system that they use. And it works. And so I think that the reference point of guys going to Team Sweden and now playing in the Olympics, that system comes back. Mm-hmm. The U.S. is, and Canada to a certain degree as well, I'm sure, but those aren't systems. Those are, let's put the puck out there, boys, and we got a couple things in place, but they didn't grow up all under the same umbrella. And I do think that especially with a team like Sweden, helps them a lot because they can just revert back to what they know. I don't know the Canadian or the U.S. style of hockey has a definition of this is what you did at the age of 8.
Another thing we talked about earlier this week, Jessi, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, was how this officiating and how the game is going to look compared to that of the Four Nations, which you brought up. Because even if you look at the adverts that you see the TV companies running, promoting NHL players being back, it's the John Hamm, like they're fighting and all this stuff. If you fight in the Olympics, you are kicked out of the game and escorted back to the village. Like it's not condoned. It's not encouraged. I'm curious as to how we're going to see this hockey officiated because yes, you do have, and Judd mentioned this the other day, which is they have some NHL refs, but it's not NHL rules. It's not the standards. It's IIHF, which from my growing up watching is a little more fragile. It's a little more, it's supposed to be that ballet of skating and passing, and it's not as physical. You can still hit and everything, but it's not, you're not going to see these, I wouldn't expect you to see these like after whistle scrums where guys are face washing and, going after it, and you have defenders coming down below the face-off dots to get in. I'm curious to how that's going to be.
Pierre Lebrun had a piece in The Athletic this morning about this, and supposedly they have spent the last, I don't know, 10 years or something trying to meld the rule books because
Mhm.
it's always been a problem because the National Hockey League players get to the Olympics and they're calling everything. And so I think what we have is I think we have like 6 or 7 NHL referees, 6 or 7, I think it might be 6 IIHF guys, but they're supposed to have like a rule, like an idea of now how to all call the game the same. And to that, Jessi Pierce, I say good luck. I say good luck because the IIHF, I mean, you could say like ideally, yeah, the rule books now they're sort of the same, but there is a way that the international game is called
Mhm.
that I don't know because the gist of the story was the Kachucks and can Tom Wilson be Tom Wilson playing in the Olympics? And ideally, if he just throws a check, yes, he can be. But
Mhm.
every one of these guys pushes the envelope, right? So my
Yeah.
question is, when they push the envelope on the rules, are the officials going to say, especially the IIHF guys, we're not going to call that now, or are they going to do what they always do, which is they're going to call it?
I mean, there's two ways to approach this, right? You can exploit that by using your fast skaters and using your speed and using those different elements that are obviously so important to a game, but utilize those guys in particular. Jake Gensel, whose edge work is phenomenal and he's able to cut through where, that physicality isn't necessarily a play. So that's one way to go around that. Two, treat it like the playoffs, right? Like the officials in the playoffs generally do a fairly good job letting things go, letting the game play out, not interfering with how the outcome of the game is, right? I think that's what the officiating needs to look more like. Let some things go. Now, obviously, though, IIHF rules have been in place for decades, right? Like this is what it is. And unfortunately, for all of these guys, except Brock Faber and I'm sure a couple other, this is their first Olympics, right? So they're not even going to be familiar with that. So I think part of your time needs to be spent, and hopefully it's prior to when the group is together, is honestly educating yourselves. Now, luckily, a lot of these guys have also played in World Juniors, so I'm sure some of it shouldn't be a complete shock, but you need to make sure you look at Brady in the eye, you look at Matthew in the eye, and they're like, we are not taking dumb penalties. We are
Right.
not starting a
Yeah.
brawl. Like, you can't, because that's just going to handcuff your team tremendously. So exploit it, educate yourself, and hope that the officials know, how to give an entertaining game and let the game play out and unfold as it should without interfering too much within reason.
What sort of variance are we going to get though between game to game? Because
Yeah.
if there's some games that are officiated by NHL guys, you're going to get
That's what
that
I wanna
first
see.
game, and it's
I want that
they're letting
roster.
they're letting more stuff go, and then the
Yes.
next game it's really tight. You can't even look a guy in the eye without getting a 2-minute minor. So I'm nervous for that.
Well, and I guess my question, especially for the U.S. team on the Kachucks, is can they play their style of game? Like, ideally,
Right.
the answer is yes, but it's constantly crossing a line. Like, that's the thing is, have these officials been told, especially the IIHF guys, hey, they cross a line, don't call it?
Mhm.
They're going to say, no, we're going to call. So, and I do want to see the assignments. Because I think if you get, if the U.S. team and Canada especially get NHL referees, they're probably fine.
Mhm.
But if they get IIHF guys, which I'm sure that they will, because I believe that this is the same, or I know it's the same, where it's 2 referees, 2 linesmen. So you're going to get a mix of guys. So who calls what? I will believe that this will work great when I see it work great, which I'm not convinced it's going to work great.
And the IOC doesn't need to like promote this or grow this anymore. They're the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
4 nations, they're trying to cater to a national, like a
Oh, yeah.
American audience essentially,
Yes.
and get more eyeballs. It's the Olympics. They're going to happen again in 4 years, and then 4 years after that, and whether the NHL wants to bring guys over or not, the IOC probably doesn't care. So I'm just very hesitant for the officiating.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know what? I am not hesitant to ask Jessi Pierce where she banks because I got a feeling. I got a feeling that she's gonna look me dead in the eye and tell me exactly where she banks.
You know what? When I am looking to save some money, squirrel my money away, I'm going to North American Banking Company. You guys could not be happier with what they have to offer. Best of both worlds, online and mobile banking tools. They give you everything that you would expect from a national bank. But when I need to talk to a real person, you guys, I can visit any of their 6 Twin Cities locations. They made switching banks so easy, no hassle. North American Banking Company, my friends. Go to nabankco.com. That's nabankco.com to learn more or visit a location near you. They are member FDIC equal housing lender. We love it. No better than North American banking.
And now that you've got all of that cash, guess what? You can go to any game, concert, or play that you could possibly want. And that's where my friends at SeatGeek come into play. In fact, I've got the app on my phone. I'm checking it out right now. I'm looking at Wolves tickets for tonight's game against Portland. I am as far out here as February 28th when the United open against FC Cincinnati at home. Noah Khan and Gigi Perez coming to Target Field. Guess what? You can get tickets for that right now as well. With more than 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app that there is. Each ticket also rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know that you're going to get a good deal. Plus, every ticket backed by the buyer guarantee. Use the code JUDD10, JUDD10, for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with the promo code JUDD, JUDD10. I have a question for you guys about the approach here, okay? And I'm going to keep it very simple. It's going to be the approach of Team Canada versus the approach of the U.S. So this is a very condensed tournament. This is a very intense tournament. This is a tournament that supposedly everybody says, I've wanted to do this my whole life. I might be a pro, but I want to do this my entire life. So now you've got your chance, best on best. Team Canada's approach. They spent a couple of nights, it sounds like, in the village, in the Olympic Village, having fun. Then it sounds like they were a little bit quiet about this, but it sounds like they checked out, went to the hotel that is being offered with more space, more of a work trip. Nathan McKinnon asked, "Hey, dude, it's great you're at the Olympics. You get to meet people." He's like, "I'm here to play hockey.
Yeah.
I am here to play hockey," which, by the way, in this case, I absolutely love. But he's just like, I am not here to screw around. I'm not here to have fun. I'm here to win a gold. The U.S. counterpoint, staying in the village the entire time, having fun. The Hughes brothers are rooming right next to the Kachucks, lifelong friends. They say it's like being back in youth hockey, or it's like being back in college. Okay, that's great. That's a lot of fun. Love fun. Fun is fantastic. Give me the Canadian approach every single time. Your thoughts? I love McKinnon's approach because I think it's the right approach. If you're going to take time off from your season, this is not a freaking vacation. This is not supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be you come back with a goal. Like, that is the Canadian expectation. That's what I love about him. I feel like we're like, oh, go meet a bunch of people. It's going to be great. You know what? If you want to do that, once you retire, come back and go to the Olympics.
It's given blue collar, though. The American way. We're going to do it the hard way. We're going to have a little fun out there.
This is our problem. You're right, but this is our problem. This is our problem.
It's hard. There's the softy in me, right? Or it's like, it's the Olympics. You should go trade some pins. Go meet Snoop Dogg. Like, that's pretty incredible. Like, that's iconic.
And you got time, though. Players have done that.
Yeah,
like the Canadians did that. The Canadians had their fun before the tournament started. I agree with that part, but I'm just saying, like, once today hits, lock her down, down.
You would think that they're still professional, like they're in the Olympic Village, they can figure it out. They should be able to do it because there is just something. There's kind of that air of pretentiousness when it comes to like, oh, but we're gonna stay in the fancy hotel. Like, why? Like, come on, you're not better than us. Like that. I don't really care for that. See, if I'm the Americans, I'm going to get more revved up for that. Like, okay, now we're going to destroy you within reason because we can't fight because we will get kicked out of this game and we can't do that per IIHF rules. But I don't know. I don't hate it. I'm curious to see how it plays out then, right? Like, maybe, are we going to point to that?
You're also afraid they won't medal.
So I'm also afraid they won't medal. Fourth place, just feels... My expectations are
disaster.
Low, so they can just...
disaster. Bill Guerin will never touch U.S. hockey again.
So if Canada medals, that's why, because they stayed in the hotel, as opposed to any other reason.
I think they're taking it more. I think they're taking a completely professional approach, which I like. I don't think this tournament is. See, it's my opinion that this, because you're taking time off from your season, like you're literally taking a huge break in your season. I don't see this as the Olympic, you guys are kids, go have fun, enjoy it. I see this as a complete and utter work trip, best on best. I personally, like I've said 1,000 times, wouldn't have it right now. But I don't want them to have fun. I want them to win a freaking gold.
Yeah.
Like I want them to be as locked in as possible. And quite frankly, I think staying in the village, any and all distractions, if I was in charge, would be cut out.
You would do that from October all the way through June, though, too. Like you would remove all families,
If you get
all fun.
if you get out of if you decide to take a break on me, yeah, I'm going to put you in a hotel. Like I want to win.
Yeah.
And
You're like
Canada wants to
Coach
win, and Canada feels the obligation. This is my problem. I feel like Canada feels the obligation to win. I feel like our program is like, well, we should win. I mean, we haven't won a gold medal in the Olympics with what, five? I think it's been five best on best, so pro players now since Nagano in 98.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've won silver twice, and that's it. I want a freaking gold medal. I want a gold medal, and I want everyone to take it as seriously as I am right now, sitting in my house about to go eat some toast.
Who makes the call to put them in the hotel? Like, is that Coop? Is that Hockey Canada?
It sounds like it's
the players.
Oh, I think it's Coop and the players. There's the obligation to win a gold there is real. The obligation for us is, well, we didn't win a gold, but hey, remember 1980? Oh, that was the bee's knees.
I think the thing about hockey is it's one of those the events or sports that go majority of the Olympics. Like they start, the men's do at least tomorrow or today, and then USA kicks off tomorrow. If they keep winning and aren't eliminated, they're playing until the final day of the Olympics. So on one side of it, it's like if you do figure skating, if you're out there doing that event and you're the quad god, go out there and do your event, but then you're gonna have probably a week of just like being in the village, taking in the experience, or even before that. Frankly, I don't care whether or not the U.S. picks up a gold. Like, hey, the more medals, the better. But if they don't pick up a gold in the skeleton event, I'm not going to lose a wink of sleep.
I won't even know.
Yeah, I probably won't hear about it until a month later. But like, hockey is the one I care about. So I'm sure there's Canada. I think I'll side with them here because they have the right approach in my mind, which is you've set aside the time to go there and be part of the opening ceremony. You walked, you had a few days. Like it's not like you started this past weekend. You've had a handful of days now in Milan or Cortina, wherever they're staying, to take in the village and meet Snoop Dogg, like you said, Jessi, and go and try the chocolate lava muffin that I heard back in summer 2 years ago and all this. Like you've taken that in. But now they're like, we are on business. We are trying to win a medal for our country because that's the expectation. We are Canada. And the other part of it is when you look at hockey players versus some of the other people, sure, the snowboarders, they have the X Games and they have this other stuff that they do, but they're training more than likely to come and do the Olympics. So if they want to take in the experience and spend that however they want to, by all means. The wild players that are over in Milan right now in Italy, they don't just like wrap up and it's like, well, we're not playing hockey for another 6 months. Like, you're coming back and you're going back into an NHL season for the final 20 games before you go to the Stanley Cup playoffs. You should not be switching off. Like, and I think that also too is like the mindset of you're already in business mode. So you go and you have a couple days, you essentially get a weekend, but now you're back in business mode for a week and a half until the end of the Olympics. And then you're on a plane ride and you're still in business mode because you're playing NHL hockey, which maybe my allegiances are misguided here. I would much rather have the Wild hoisting the Stanley Cup than the USA hockey team medaling in the Olympics. Like that's my silver lining if they don't, which is Matt Boldy, Brock Faber, Quinn Hughes. They get a little extra time to rest and come on back. I want to see a gold. I do want to win, like Judd said, but at the same time, I would rather the Wild benefit in the long run. So it's the mindset of Canada has it right. They gave their guys the weekend to explore and take stuff in. USA, it feels like it's summer camp. We got activities, we got arts and crafts, and we're gonna play hockey.
That's my Kachuk thing.
Yeah,
like the Kachucks are like, because they're hardened players and stuff. This whole thing about how we're rooming and it's fun and they're creating hell, which is what they do. like Jessi, my point is this, okay?
Bunk beds.
You are 1,000%.
All I pick is Step Brothers. All I can think of.
Exactly,
like, immediate.
But this is where you need to control them. But the thing about it is, you're right. You cannot do a Herb Brooks now. Like, you cannot go like browbeat. It's not going to work, okay? But what you can do is control their environment, and that's what I want to do. Like, I want to control their environment as much. I can make this a business trip. That's something the adults can do, and this is where Canada's like, because I mean, there is as as a human, I'm sure it's great. You get out and you meet other people, and I mean, God knows what happens in those. We've heard about what happens in the village, and I don't even want to think about it right now. But that sounds great as a human. But as a player, I want to have as controlled of environment as possible. And to me, that is getting out of the village when the games start, when your games start, because you are pros. Like age is right. Like it might sound bad, but you are, this is only part of what you do. This is a very small part. In the skeleton guy or gal or the snowboarder or the skeet shooter or the person that
Biathlon.
bowls.
Biathlon.
I don't even know what the hell this thing is, but that's all that's like your goal. That then you get there and do that. This is a business trip. That's why I'm sort of a kill. Well,
I guess I just don't put that much
killjoy.
stock in it. It's not a reason I'm winning gold. It's not a reason I'm losing gold. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be an excuse. Like, oh, well, we didn't win because the players were distracted. Like, I don't know that should be, because at the same time, as we're talking about adults, you're an adult. You should be able to figure out how to navigate some of those.
They're in their 20s.
They're adults. When they look tired against Latvia, and we hear that, we didn't sleep great last night. Like the Chuck boys were roughing it up, playing, in their bunk beds and pillow fighting and stuff. That's when we can have this conversation. I'm sure that's not what's actually happening, but I feel like they're just prioritizing, and you should prioritize the Olympic experience to a certain point. But then, like Canada's doing, is now we're here to win. Yeah. Now we are Team Canada hockey. Like, go Soviet on it. Like, you are here to win.
What it feels like,
that's
right?
it.
Yeah. Hey, Age, you in fact, I'm embarrassed, forgot about this, or I didn't know. You celebrated a birthday 2 days ago, correct?
Yeah, but I'm not a huge birthday guy, so
happy birthday,
I'm fine
Age.
with not bringing it up.
And you're how old?
29.
Okay, so you are almost out of your 20s. I can say this. I think Jessi will back me up. I think you will back me up as you get near 30. The majority of hockey players, let's say between the ages of 21 and 27 or so, you're not really an adult. Like, you can do a lot of adult things, but like your mentality, I mean, my 20s, I was into having fun. And if I played on a team, in retrospect, a coach should have yanked me from having fun and been like, there's times to be more serious. So that's yes, you are technically an adult. I get that, but I can't call a lot of these guys adults.
That's it. But they should be treated like adults, because some guys probably are more mentally mature than others.
Yeah.
But you're right in the sense where, clearly, if you're watching this screen, I'm not an Olympic athlete by any means. But if I was over there, I would be tempted to.
You could be.
That's true. That's true. I would be tempted to have the mindset of like, you know what? Yeah, I could probably spend another hour and a half. Like, when am I going to be in Italy again?
Let's play ping pong.
Let's go out. Yeah.
My friends and I were just talking about this. In our 20s, the amount of times we would stay up till 5 a.m., maybe get 2 hours of sleep and go straight to work. And that was fine. We could somehow manage to navigate that. I'm not suggesting an athlete could do that.
Yep.
God, that was a large chunk of my 20s.
Oh, I know. No. It's incredible. When you look back at your 20s and you're like, I had the freedom that I do now. And like, oh my God, how am I still alive? It is remarkable. So, hey, we got time left. Let's talk about it. The women's hockey team. So they absolutely, and just for context, to be fair, Philippe Poulin did not play for Canada in the game yesterday. She is one of the best players in the entire world. She is phenomenal. So she was out. She's going to be out, I think, for their game on Thursday, and then she might be back. So, but nonetheless, the U.S. beats Canada 5-rip. They finished group play 4-0. They outscored their opponents 20-1 in that. What are your so like this is trending very, very well. This is trending well. But I watched that game yesterday and kept thinking to myself, this feels like a rope-a-dope by Canada. Feels like a rope-a-dope. It's all about seeding. You know if and when they play again, it's going to be an absolute battle. But nonetheless, this is so impressive.
It's so you've seen it throughout the rivalry series this season too, how the US has really had a leg up on Canada as of late, and it's incredible to watch. I've watched USA hockey put more and more resources into girls hockey and women's hockey and really helping grow their national team and, their national presence at their high performance programs and all of that. So I'm not necessarily surprised. There's some huge elite talent, some of it that we're lucky enough to watch here. Abby Murphy, it has everything. Feisty as hell. So fun to watch. Go check out a Gopher women's hockey game if you haven't. She is everything to witness in person. And then their goaltending too. I'll admit I was very unfamiliar with the goaltending that they have, but they look phenomenal too, right? Like there's just Team USA, it's their goal to lose. I would be absolutely shocked if they did not win gold because I think they are just that dominant. I don't think that you're right. Canada missing Poulian was huge, no question about it. And I think it'll be a much closer, a tighter game. But based on the evidence from, again, the rivalry series this year and just every other time the US and Canada have squared off, yes, it's a good spar, but more often than not, US has kind of come away running away with it a little bit, which I think is just, again, a testament to what USA Hockey has accomplished with the women's side. So they're all in on gold. Keep it rolling. I love it.
Yeah. And I've seen maybe some people discount the win. 5-0 first off is incredible, and I know they're missing.
I think it's the first time they've shut out, or Canada's been shut out at the Olympics, right? The women's team, I believe.
I think I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like they don't have other stars on that team. Obviously, they were missing probably the goat of women hockey with Marie-Philippe Poulin, but Emma Malte is a fantastic player. Renata Fast on defense is great. Natalie Spooner. Like they have
right.
Yeah. They have really good players on that Canada side, and so to win 5-0, I mean, the U.S. looks like a well-oiled machine. Like Layla Edwards, I didn't know much about her game, but like through these prelims, she's been a star so far. Obviously, for the Frost and Minnesota connection, we all know how good Taylor Heisey can be. But then you have Hillary Knight. It in the goaltending, I think, is one thing that has also. You almost relate it to the Wild, where they've looked so good in front of their goalies at times this season. So it's elevated the play of Gustafsson or Wallstead. I think that's almost what you're getting to with the U.S., where Frankel has been fantastic, but at the same time, the defense in front of her has been amazing as well. So it makes her job a lot easier. So will that continue into the post prelims? I would expect it to. They look so good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Carolyn Harvey, who scored, I think, the first goal of the game, who plays for the Badgers, who are absolutely stacked. She is really fun to watch too. She moves the puck well. I would say among the players that have stood out to me the most from that team are her for sure. You're right, Jessi. Abby Murphy is she Brad Marchand like
a little bit, because she knows
talented,
how to get right, like knows how to get under players' skins, like, and she's been doing this.
She drew 4 penalties.
Yeah, like I remember last year, I think I saw, obviously this year, if you guys didn't catch it, she did a between the legs, just all in on her own. Like, she did something similar last year, but she loves to jaw. Like, I think she has a mouth on her, probably very similar to Marchie. But she owns it too. Like, how great is it to be able to talk the smack, but walk the walk too, right? Like, she's got a little bit of everything. She's my fave.
And she is, you can tell she gets under player skin like a lot. But her talent, she is incredibly talented. But the combination of that with her style, if I'm the Frost, I want that player on my team, because you do not want to play against her. She'll win.
The Wild, I want that player on my team. My goodness, right? Like, I love it.
But I mean, she is absolutely fantastic, and she is fun. But this is it's good too, because for the sake of the program, the roster, if you look through it, has the aging great names, right? Like Knight's on this team, Coyne Schofield, but it feels like the torch, if this is the correct analogy, has been passed. Like those players, the aging former superstars aren't. It doesn't feel like being counted on to win games. They're playing roles and they're playing important roles, but it feels like the youth is really taking over and carrying games. Mm-hmm. So it feels like this program is in really, really good shape. And unlike the men, they probably do have, because they play together a ton, a
Mhm.
system too. Like you can tell the structure there is there. And again, I'll go to like Canada or the US, the men's teams. I don't think you're going to see a ton of structure.
No, I mean, and you have, world championships. These girls have played together since IIHF under
Yes.
18s, right? Like it's all of these different iterations. But Hillary Knight, fifth Olympics. Lee Steckline, this is her third, I think. Kelly Panic, her third too, right? Like you're absolutely right, Judd. There's the passing of the torch while still having some of these elite familiar names too, which is so incredible. Like again, 5 Olympics. I think I want to say that set a mark too, or something like that, potentially for Hillary, or with Hillary being named captain of this team. Like, women's hockey is in a great place here in the United States, and it's just going to get better. Like I said, USA Hockey has dedicated so many different resources to not just making them so great, but developing these young women and females and giving them so many opportunities. Minnesota, shout out to us, has always been at the forefront of that too. So, and they continue to be, as evident by the roster, but it's nice to see other states contribute too, because that's what USA Hockey is trying to accomplish.
Age, last thoughts?
I'm excited. I know I've kind of been over the past week or two, maybe even months, saying like whether or not this. First off, I'm glad the rinks got built. That's fantastic. You know, I feel like that whole narrative has gone away now.
I guess it's freezing too. I've seen a couple of things that it's just absolutely, because the ice was suspect.
Bring those blankets.
Yeah, Jessi Pierce.
Bring the blankets.
Press box blanket.
If you ever go to the Wild press box and see a little old lady sitting in the middle of the press box with her blanket on, her shawl on, that's Jessi.
Record, you'll now see a whole front row of blankets, because I have other, I'm an inspiration.
You're a leader.
For other
You're a captain.
Women,
You're setting the tempo.
Bringing blankets.
You're like Nathan McKinnon up there with the blankets. Like we're moving into a warmer setting. We're gonna get blankets.
No BS. No BS.
No BS.
Lock in.
Hey, before we go, let's get to two things. One is Jess and Age. We are going to do a live post-game show on Thursday. Jessi, tell us where the folks can find the Latvia US post-game show on Thursday.
Bar Down Beauties channel. That's right. We're going to join me, Kirsten, Judd, and Age over on the Bar Down Beauties channel to do a live breakdown of that. Thought it'd be something kind of fun. Explore, collab.
Collaborate.
Yep, collaborate. Why are words so hard for me sometimes?
I forget words too. Don't worry about it.
Literally use them every day. I'm super excited. I'm going to be doing it pre-wine tasting as well. So hopefully we'll have some celebratory wine afterward. But yes, come join us after whenever that game wraps up. It's a win.
If they win, you want to celebrate with a nice glass of a red.
Oh,
if they lose,
don't leave your house if they lose. Don't. I'm telling you again, the Russians will be like, we now don't have the worst Olympic hockey loss. And then Age, of course, tell the folks about the new Judd's Hockey channel if they're enjoying this really outstanding content today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big. We're coming up on almost 50 minutes here, so a longer, heftier JHS midweek than normal. But if you're liking what you're watching, click that subscribe button. It's a brand new channel, Judd's Hockey Show. We've been going strong for about a month now on here, and we're doing really well with the subscriber numbers, but we want to keep going up, just like the U.S. wants to do at the Olympics, going up to a gold. So hit that subscribe button. If you're listening, maybe you don't even know what we look like. These faces, they're a mystery to you. Now's the perfect time to open up YouTube, go to the Judd's Hockey Show channel, and subscribe for the first time ever. We can be the only content you need. That's it, right there.
That's all you need.
Exactly right. All right, we're done. Don't forget then, post-game Latvia US on Thursday, Bar Down Beauties channel, live show. It's going to be an extravaganza. Hopefully we're talking about an 18-1 win. If they score fewer than 10 goals, just hit the alarm at that point. Jessi, AJ, and Judd, we will talk to you soon.